For over 10 years now, I'm into the self-help world and the self-development world. And for me, it did not work at all. The books and all the stuff, there's some value here and there, but it didn't add up, or it just didn't work out for me. And the thing that I'm gonna share with you is not some generic mindset advice. It's also not some fluff or some podcast. And also at the same time, I'm not selling you anything. So you can literally relax, watch this video, and you will get real benefits from this. Because the moment you see this, you can never unsee this again. And I'm so sure that this is a decade of experience, and we're right now at the pinnacle. Like, I'm doing YouTube for years now, and I'm over a decade into mindset stuff because I've came from a tough childhood, and it seems that no matter what I do, there's always obstacles. There's always something going wrong. There's always like sabotage. Is this self-sabotage? Where do these obstacles come from? And I think that you will get the answer that you were looking for a long time. Like, this video will be like, I'm really convinced that it's profound. Just give me the time to explain, and I'm guaranteeing you, like, I'm not wasting your time whatsoever. Like, there will be a high return on your time. So let's say you have a donkey, right? This is a donkey. Sorry for my bad drawings. A human right here, right? He has a stick, and here is like the carrot on the stick, right? This donkey is inside a paradox. What does the donkey think? The donkey is not aware of the paradox. He's trapped in a paradox. He's not aware of it. He thinks that if I just keep moving forward, then I will get the carrot. I will be rewarded, right? So what happens is this donkey, he keeps chasing the carrot. But the problem is, the carrot, it's an illusion, because all the chasing, what's the intention of the donkey? The intention of the donkey is just to simply get the carrot. And this carrot can represent wealth, right? It can represent relationships, and it can represent health, as an example, right? These are the most important things. Or happiness. Happiness. This is also a very important thing for a lot of people, right? And this donkey just simply wants the carrot. So right now, if I would ask you the questions, what are your goals? Most people, their goals is just simply money. I just want money, or I want to be in shape, or I want to have a relationship, or this, that, right? And people, they think that if they get the carrot, right? The same way as the donkey, he thinks that he just simply wants the carrot. That's what he wants, right? But the problem is, again, this donkey is not aware of this human. He's not aware that this carrot is fake. It's an illusion. The donkey thinks that he just needs to keep moving forward. He just needs to work. That's what the donkey thinks. But he's being trapped by a human on his back, right? And then, now and then, the donkey gets to eat the carrot, right? Now and then, the donkey gets to eat the carrot. What happens when the donkey eats the carrot? It confirms the paradox that he's in, because every now and then he gets the carrot. So this means in his mind that this method works, right? And it's the same thing with a hamster wheel. Like, there's a hamster stuck on a wheel. He keeps running. He's literally draining his resources, draining his time, draining his energy. And the perspective of the hamster, he just thinks that he's getting there, right? So right now, just give me the time to explain. That's the only thing that I ask from you. So right now you're thinking, you have the questions like, okay, what does this donkey has to do with me? Like I get it, okay, I get it. Like, I'm not a donkey, right? That's what you're thinking right now. And let me explain you, like, if you're stuck in the paradox, you're a donkey. The only way that the donkey can get out of the paradox, break free, right? Only way is an outside higher intelligence. So let's say this is an I, right? And he looks to the paradox. So the donkey, he's inside the paradox. He's not aware that there is a human on his back. He's not aware of the carrot on the stick. So the problem with the donkey is he doesn't know he's inside the paradox, right? So let me give you, like, the first thing to get out of a paradox is to first become aware that you're stuck in it. Like the moment when the donkey stops running and he looks around and he starts to think and he becomes aware, like maybe this is a paradox, right? So this is the first solution to your problem. The solution is not what you think, because the donkey has a perceived solution, right? So the donkey thinks, his perception is just keep working. The donkey thinks keep working, but the longer the donkey works, the bigger the problem, the deeper the paradox, right? So let me give you a different example, because the donkey can never know that he's inside the paradox unless some outside force helps him to see it, right? So let me give you another example of a paradox. This is a human, right? And he has a 9 to 5. I had a 9 to 5 job myself for years, and I know exactly how it feels, right? So this 9 to 5, he gets a guaranteed salary, guarantee. This guy, he gets guaranteed paycheck, right? So he's also stuck in a paradox, because he thinks that the longer, the more I work in this 9 to 5, the more dollars that he will have, right? And the thing is that the more that you work, the more dollars that you will have. The only thing that you're doing is you are being a donkey, and the human with a stick and a carrot is the boss, the CEO, right? This guy, he's chasing a guarantee, but he's playing it safe, right? But this is the thing, because he's wasting his time, energy, resources. He's becoming older, he's becoming less skilled and all this stuff. And the safety that he chose becomes his biggest danger. What did the donkey do? He's just chasing carrots. That's the only thing he done, right? He didn't grow, he didn't do something he's passionate about, he didn't have spent his time with his family. He missed out on so many things in life that he's literally a slave. So this is the paradox. Like, the paycheck is keeping him stuck inside the paradox. The guarantee, the stability, that's the carrot that keeps you stuck in the paradox. It's an illusion, it's not real. And the reason why it's not real is because this guarantee doesn't exist. Because, as an example, he can always lose his job, right? Something can happen. His boss can run out of money and he doesn't pay him out. AI takes his job. Like, there's so many dangers that can remove this illusion. So what is a delusion? A delusion is something that this guy, his perception is a perceived, is perceived value. That's a delusion. Like, he perceives this job as safety, right? But what he doesn't realize is the paradox is trapping him. The paycheck is keeping him stuck inside the paradox. This guy is not even aware that he's inside the paradox. It's perceived value because it's not based on reality. The guarantee is not real. That's what I'm trying to say. So then this was me again, right? And I felt lonely, right? Insecure. I felt insecure and lonely. Let's say it like that. And I was also stuck in a paradox, right? So I thought, like, let's chase love, right? And this is what most people do. Chase relationship, chase love. And what they try to do is that they get rejected, right? Like, the moment when you chase this carrot, it keeps running away from you. Because this is also a paradox, the same paradox, right? The more you chase, the more you get rejected and the more lonely you feel. So it's in a way a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And what happens is this guy, he's trying to bend himself, He's trying to bend himself to get this. So what is bending yourself? It's like the donkey is trying to run faster to get the carrot. And it's miserable, it's depressing, it doesn't solve the problem. And then you have people that they're chasing women and it's just a time waste. It's cheap dopamine, right? They never get the love that they initially were after. And this is again the perceived solution. Not knowing that he's stuck in a paradox. Because this is gonna keep running away from you. And then what happens is then you have guys, and this is just what happens is they think the answer is money, right? But then they try to attract relationships again, but this person doesn't want the guy. He doesn't want the guy, he just wants the money, right? And then people call it gold diggers. This is a simple example of the same paradox that you cannot escape. And then you have, as an example, the last example. This is the last example, so you understand what a paradox is, right? So you have this guy, right? He is sick, right? He goes to the doctor, as an example. He goes to the doctor, and this doctor gives him like medicine. So this medicine has side effects, right? So what happens is that, as an example, I know a person that took a lot of antibiotics in their life, and this antibiotics has given them a chronic health disease, as an example, because antibiotics is creating a lot of damage in the gut and it's removing all the bacteria. I'm not a doctor whatsoever, but I'm just saying that this is the health paradox. Like, I just gave an example of paradoxes, right? And people, they tend to be stuck in one, right? And they think that this is the only reality. That's what these people think. People think that the people that are stuck in the 9 to 5, in their minds, they think that this is the only way how you can get the carrot. That's what they think. And this is the same way, like this guy, he thinks that medicine, going to the doctor, is the only way. The guy that chases relationship and gets rejection after rejection and tries to change himself in order to become fit for the relationship, and then realizing that this person doesn't even want the person, they just want the mask or the money. So it's just the same way as the donkey. Running, the perceived solution is the problem, because you think that if I do X, then I get Y. This is what people think. So if I do X, then I get Y, right? And at the end, I'm gonna tell you how you can solve the paradox. This is for everyone, right? Why is this for everyone? Because everybody's trapped in a paradox, because the problem of a paradox is that the solution is the problem. The perceived solution is the problem. So the same way as the donkey keeps running, he thinks that the longer he runs, the faster he can get the carrot. So the perceived solution is the problem, because it gets him more stuck in the paradox, right? And this guy, he thinks that if I do X, then I get Y. It's super transactional. What he doesn't realize is that it's based on a paradox. And this is how people profit, like pharma industry and all this stuff. And if you look at the economy, you just go to the grocery stores, 80% is processed foods. Like, it's not healthy for your body whatsoever. It's all processed in factories, and but people profit out of paradoxes, and it gives you it's the same stuckness, like the same loop. And this is how they make money. And it's the same thing with medical industry, that you get sick and they give you these quick fixes or these fast solutions that eat up your health again. And I know people, they think that this is the problem. They think that going to the doctor or going to the clinics is the solution. So they chase clinics after clinic after the smallest problem. They go from hospital to hospital, right? And the more they go to hospitals, and this is the funny part, the more sick they get, right? And it's the same thing with a relationship. The more they chase relationship, the more lonely you get. And it's the same thing with 9 to 5. The more you chase the dollar, the more enslaved you become and the more sacrifices you make. And this is you can call it some kind of deal with the devil, right? You can call it whatever you want. The paradox is not the answer. That's basically it. So right now, you want the solution. I'm gonna tell you the solution, right? How can this guy get outside the paradox? First of all, I already give you part of the solution. It's awareness, right? So people think if I do X, then I get Y. That's what people think, right? But the solution of the paradox is that you need X to get X. So if you want to make money, you need money, right? To make money. But people never can break the paradox because they don't have X, right? They don't have X. I don't know how they don't have X, but you need X to get X. And that's the same thing, you need money to make money. And it's the same thing with women, relationship. if you already got a relationship, people say like, if I already got a relationship, it's easy to get another relationship, right? And everybody has this problem because the moment when you got the thing that you're after, that's the moment when the moment when you got X, you got X. So when the moment when you have a relationship, you get relationship. The moment when you have health, then you have health. You understand what I'm saying? So first thing is you need to become aware of the wheel. And the only way to get out of the paradox is to have an outside, higher intelligence, outside influence that help you. So people call this God. So the moment when you pray towards God, God is gonna give you the way out of the paradox. He's gonna inspire you to stop running, to stop chasing the carrot. And that's the solution. It's to get out of the paradox. And the only way is, in a way, like, first of all, you become aware of the paradox. And the way that you get out of it is death and prayer. Why death? Like right now it sounds dark, right? But it's not dark. Because, let me give you an example. For people, lonely equals death. Death, right? Ending up lonely is like death for them. For people, having no money equals death, right? So the way out of paradox is to be okay with death, like to accept death. That's the only way, because if the donkey thinks, like, if I'm gonna stop running, then I'm gonna die. That's what the donkey thinks. Because of that type of thinking, he's afraid of death, and he's never gonna die. He's not, and the death is just a perception. It's not real, because you're not gonna die if you end up with no money, and you're also not gonna die if you're lonely, right? So first of all, it's an illusion, and it's a mental trap, because you think that if I stop, that means death. So you never get outside of the paradox, and you never question the paradox. So I think that the way you get to the other side is to pray, is to have faith, again, faith. Because let's say that people are afraid of death, and this is the most terrifying thing for most humans, including myself. But if I know that God is gonna resurrect me, then you're not afraid of death anymore. So we could say that fear is the engine of the paradox, and fear of death, right? So the only way is to get outside of paradox is to be fearless. And you do that with prayer or facing the uncomfortable. That's the only way, like getting outside the comfort zone. But it's much more easier to get outside the comfort zone if you understand, if you realize that it's a comfort zone. If you realize that you're not gonna die because you just quit your 9 to 5, and there are more ways to make money, like the CEO as an example, but there are so many ways to get healthy. You need a higher intelligence, and that's why people, this is the pinnacle of everything, and this is why, like, the rich get richer. Because of this, because they are stuck in a different paradox. They are stuck in a paradox of wealth, the wealth paradox. The people that are rich, you need, like mentioned, you need X to get X, right? So they are in this paradox. They have X, and they already know, like, they already have X to get X. And also, they are surrounded with other people that also have X, right? So the rich get richer because they have the resources to invest. They also have the circle, the environment. And those people inside their environment, they are also outside the paradox of poverty, as an example. Or they are outside of the thinking of, or they're not stuck in a 9 to 5, as an example. Most wealthy people, yeah, it's simple, like they're not stuck inside the paradox, and they attract each other. Like they want each other, and they search each other, and they're in a bubble. And that's also a paradox. It's a different one. So Yeah, and maybe another thing for paradox, maybe reality, because that's the reality of a donkey. That's how you can call it. Perceived reality is maybe the better word. Because the same way with a 9 to 5 guy, the 9 to 5 person. Nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, by the way. But I just try to give an example. Like it's just for the people. You have literally people that are like the same way as this wealth guy. He knows that he's inside his paradox or his reality. For him, it's a favorable position. So I think that you can relax, and letting go is the answer again. It's always the answer. So stop trying to grip control, letting go, try new things out. Don't be afraid, get outside of the comfort zone. And I think that this video will help you move forward.